The biggest fear of pet parents is how to protect your dog from ticks and fleas. Now, that's because tick fever can actually kill your dog. So today, we're going to talk to you about a variety of ways in which you can protect your dog and plan how to do that throughout the year. Ticks and fleas are more than just itchy, annoying things on your dog's body. Fleas are mostly itchy. They don't really come with any serious diseases unless your dog's the unlucky one and has flea dermatitis, and then it can just turn into this rashy mess. Ticks, on the other hand, actually do come with tick-borne diseases. If an infected tick bites your dog and transmits the disease, then your dog can get seriously ill and sometimes even die from it. This is why planning matters, and blanket solutions just don't work. You need a personalized approach, and in this video, that's exactly what we're going to teach you how to plan for. Hi, my name is Mansi. I am a canine nutritionist and a holistic wellness practitioner. I've been practicing 10 years, and all that I have learned in the last 10 years is what I plan to bring to you on this channel, which is Beyond the Bowl. And that's precisely what we will do. We will talk nutrition, but we will go beyond the bowl to bring you health and wellness tips. Natural remedies, what works, what doesn't. Natural remedies are non-toxic. They are typically designed to keep ticks and fleas just away from you and your dog. They act as repellents and not as killers. Examples are essential oils. You can make collars or sprays out of it. Apple cider vinegar. Again, you can spray your dog every single day with this. You can use natural blended oils and natural sprays. Diatomaceous earth is great. And there is never an alternative to actually brushing your dog with a tick and flea comb every single day. Garlic in the food in acceptable amounts is excellent for repelling ticks as well. Now, if you'd like detailed videos on each one of these, let us know in the comments and we will do that for you. For example, you can use essential oils. Blends of different oils are excellent. You can make a collar out of it, or you can spray your dog. You can also buy ready blended oils and spray your dog before each walk. Now, apple cider vinegar mixed with water, again, before each walk, works wonders. It just keeps the ticks and fleas away from you. Diatomaceous earth needs to be used a little bit more diligently, and that is a powder that you just rub into your dog. Tick and flea combs are going to be your best friend. This needs to be done every single day so that you check whether your dog even has them, and then you catch the infestation before it begins. Garlic in your dog's food in acceptable amounts is excellent for repelling ticks and fleas. Now, if you'd like us to do more detailed videos on each one of these, leave a comment below and we'll definitely do that. Let's look at the pros of natural remedies. It is great for sensitive dogs. It is eco-friendly. It is milder. It is definitely non-toxic to your dog. So it's not going to do your dog any harm whatsoever, no matter how long you use it for. And it is also going to be a repellent. You're going to prevent the problem before it starts. Now, it's almost like when you know there is bad weather coming, you're not just going to do the right shoes, you're also going to do the right jacket, you're also going to carry an umbrella, and you're just going to prepare for the situation. That's what natural remedies are. What are the cons? Constant reapplication. You're going to need to do more than one method in order to even get an effect. They are lesser in efficacy, means they're not going to be as strong. They're not going to give you a punch like your chemical solution can. And most natural remedies are just repellents, and they're not killers like the chemical ones that we're going to talk about in the next chapter. Chemical interventions. Why are they so popular and scary at the same time? Chemical solutions are designed to kill bugs and not repel them. They belong to three major categories. Oral, which is fed to the dog. Then there is spot-ons, which is applied on the skin. And then you have sprays, which you can spray on a more regular basis. Oral pills. When you feed these to your dog, the chemical, which is a neurotoxin, goes and lives inside your dog's body. The way it works is that when a flea or a tick bites your dog, they will then get this pesticide and get seizures and die from it. The next is spot-ons. These are little pipettes based on your dog's body weight. You open it and you squeeze all of it onto your dog's spinal cord. There are two types in this as well. There is a systemic and a non-systemic. The systemic tends to go into your dog's body. It does enter the bloodstream. It can reach the blood-brain barrier as well. The non-systemic tends to stay on top of the skin and kills by contact and not because of a bite necessarily. So there are two types of spot-ons too. The last one is sprays. Now, the actives in these are mostly like the spot-ons. They can be systemic or non-systemic, again, depending on the active. It's mostly meant to kill the bugs on contact, and these are usually used a lot more frequently than the spot-on is. Pros. Proven efficacy in breakout situations. They will definitely kill the ticks and fleas already on your dog's body. They are killers and not repellents, which means that your dog will get the tick and fleas climbing onto them and will most likely, if it is a systemic one, need to bite your dog first in order to actually die. What is hybrid planning and is it for you? And then there is bucket number 3. Now, these people love their natural remedies, but they're also aware that in some situations, it just doesn't work. Now, they're also wanting to do chemicals just for that added protection, but they're aware of the downfalls. And what happens is that they end up confused. What to do, what not to do, what is safe, what is not safe. So the hybrid protocol is exactly the right thing for you guys. How does one decide what combination of solutions is right for you? This is where it starts to get personalized, because you're going to now look at your life and look at these factors. Your lifestyle, location, exposure levels to ticks and fleas, your risk factors, as well as seasons. Understanding risk versus exposure. So it's very important to now sit down and make some notes. Where do you live? Is there a lot of vegetation? Is there a lot of forest areas? Does your dog like doing forest trails? Or are they just a balcony sunbather like my dogs are? Do they socialize a lot with animals? These are your risks then. Do you go to these places often, even if this exists outside your house? So there is exposure there, but there may not be risk if you don't go. How often do you go there? Is your dog very social? Does he want to become friends with every animal that he sees? Do they love grasses and rolling about on it, walking through it, etc.? So these are the notes you're going to start writing down. The next thing you want to start considering is, does your dog have existing health conditions, or do you have a very small puppy or maybe a senior dog who is already sensitive? Do you have liver and kidney or epilepsy issues already in place? Then maybe your protocol is going to require you to take this into consideration. The next factor is seasonality. Now, you do have to take into consideration where you live and whether you experience different seasons. Simply reading on the internet that winters are low in tick and flea doesn't make sense if you live in Mumbai. Doesn't make sense if you don't experience harsh winters or cold winters where ticks and fleas are going to go into dormancy. So you have to look at, where do you live? Do you actually have these ups and downs in tick and flea seasons, or are they just a risk all year round? And then make a note of that, because this is going to play into your planning. Now that we understand what are the factors that we need to make a note of, let's build our hybrid plan. So hopefully you've already made notes of what is applicable to you and your dog's life. Now, if your dog is a low risk and low exposure dog, for instance, mostly indoors or not very social with other animals, or you go for walks but in very quiet and clean locations, so your exposure levels are low and your environmental risk factors are low as well, then your protocol may look something like this. You want to do all the natural remedies as diligently as possible. You want to do daily sprays and flea combs every single day. You want to do monthly 5 days of diatomaceous earth every single month, whether it's season or not. And you want to do your apple cider vinegar soaks during your baths, at least on a monthly basis. And then you also want to do non-systemic spot-ons if needed, just before travel or just before really peak seasons. Moderate risk and exposure dogs, if that is you, then you are looking at maybe urban settings, socialize a lot, go to parks, maybe go to events, but mostly stay in controlled environments that are moderate to low in risk. And then what you're going to look at is daily and weekly checks with the tick comb. This cannot be compromised. You want to do daily spray and you want to do daily garlic in the food, plus you want to do ACV soaks now every week. So just soak your dog with apple cider vinegar every week. And spot-ons, you can decide whether you want to do them once or twice a year seasonally, or maybe when you're traveling. High risk, high exposure. What are we looking at here? We're looking at maybe you live in rural areas or slightly on the outskirts. Maybe you take your dog for a walk in more forested areas, or you go off trail walking a lot. Your dog might be highly social, or they might have exposure to locations where there's a lot of animals, and that always increases exposure and risk. Now, what is your protocol if this is you? You want to do peak season. You want to find out what your seasons are, and you want to do peak season in non-systemic spot-on every 6 weeks, at least during the season. But one time you're going to do full strength. What is that? It comes according to your dog's body weight. So if your dog is between 25 and 30 kilos, you use that one time. The next time in 6 weeks, you're going to use a half strength, maybe use a 15 kilo spot on, and then go back to the full strength if you need it, but keep doing the rest. Your daily tick and flea comb checks are a must. You cannot skip this because you're going to catch infestations early. You want to do natural repellents, all of them. You want to do the spray, you want to do garlic, you want to do ACV sprays and the ACV soaks. So do the natural while you're doing the protection and see how that goes for your high risk and high exposure areas. What you need to remember through this whole thing is natural are repellents, chemicals are killers. So you always want to repel first. Even if you are in a situation where you're choosing to use some chemical protocols just because it's required, do not forget your natural protocols. They're going to help just keep them away from you and your dog. All of the sprays that you're using on your dog, use them on your own clothes too, because you don't want to be a carrier and bringing a tick or a flea home on your clothes. Rotate your actives. You don't want the dog or the body or the ticks to just keep getting used to the same thing. So keep rotating your actives. Look for what other products come into your market with the same non-systemic, chemicals that you're already using. The last thing is keep a diary of what you notice when you notice ticks are going on your body or fleas as well, so that you will be able to know next year how you can sort of put some things into place a little early and maybe prevent it completely. A few final thoughts. I prefer assessment over fear. Would I ever recommend an oral tablet for tick and flea prevention? No. I think the risk is just too high of feeding that. So it is always good to sit down and really assess with a cool, collected mind as to what really your risk and exposure is, and decide the right protocol based on that. If there's anything you can take away from this video, it is this: assess, plan, rotate, and execute. There's never any need to over-medicate or under-protect, especially when you have the option to do a combination of both. Always assess your dog's body, their current physical condition, the location, and the risk exposure levels like we have explained, and then decide what is the best protocol. And keep in mind that you may need to change this from year to year. You may move house as well. So keep it fluid, keep it very relevant to your life and not to somebody else's life that is doing something on the internet. That is not relevant to your life. So if you have liked this video and you like content like this, then please subscribe and follow us, as well as share this video with somebody that you think is going to benefit.